Hello and welcome to the You're an Asset podcast. I'm your host, Casey the Dollar. And on this podcast, we find out who is an asset in the financial industry and who is just an ass. On this week's episode, we have a very special guest for her round 2 on the show, Miss McCall Marshall.
Hi.
And hey, McCall, we are going to be talking about a life insurance carrier that is quite an ass, and all of its ass followers, ass agents, however you want to put that.
Assistants?
Assistants. Oh, I love it. And we have a lot of stuff to get into. But McCall, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing pretty good.
Doing good. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
I know we've talked a little bit about this company. We'll just go ahead and say we're going to be talking about Primerica and a few other carriers. We're mainly going to discuss the MLM and recruiting aspect of the insurance industry. If you weren't aware as a listener, the insurance industry is full of pyramid schemes, unfortunately. And it's a main reason that the insurance industry gets such a bad rep. A few MLM pyramid schemes right off the top are World's Financial Group, Primerica, like I mentioned, Premier Financial Alliance, Transamerica, and Family First Life, also known as FFL. McCall, you seen these names before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's in a complimentary policy review where someone's like, can you look over my illustration for me? And I'm like, it's so bad.
And you don't even have to look at it.
You just know the minute.
You just know it's bad. I want to preface this with a little story about how I got into the insurance industry. Because it was very different than how you got into the industry. Because you met me.
Right. I found, as we said in the last one, I found you on TikTok like so many other people.
And I have a company that we do business through, and we have direct contracts with carriers. We do not function as a pyramid scheme. Yes, I am the owner of the company, but everybody who works with Power 3 Financial, they're all the same. There is no recruiting aspect. We do not do this. Have I ever told you to go find anyone to come and join the team?
Actually, you actively said to not do that.
Sure. Why?
Because recruiting is gross.
Recruiting is gross. But no one likes to do this. No one likes to be recruited.
Yeah, you don't want to be like trying to get a life insurance policy from someone and the agent's like, by the way, you should do this too and join my team and that. And then you become just another product to help fill their pockets.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. You become the product, or you are the product.
Right.
In a pyramid
No one
scheme.
likes that.
No one likes that. So I think it's been a while since we've talked about how I got into the industry. And we haven't talked about it on the show. I mean, I met a guy who told me, hey, if you're a business owner, you should consider getting a key person insurance policy. And I, what's that? Oh, well, it's a life insurance policy. It's permanent. It's called an IUL, an indexed universal life insurance policy. You can have your business own it. You can grow a cash value. And then you can use that cash value for funding your business, paying yourself a tax-free income, all of these good things. And I was like, wow, that sounds interesting. I wasn't so sure if he was being honest. I kind of had those like red flags going off. But I did get my life insurance license because I did some research on what he was talking about. And I was like, wow, okay, this seems really intriguing, beneficial. The policy seemed valuable. And so I went with it. I got licensed and I started working with a company called Energy Financial. If any Energy Financial agents are listening, hi. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Honestly, I no shame with working with Energy. However, the model of this company, which is just a small company, it's a small business basically that they sell insurance. And how they got you into the business was by telling you, hey, you want to make an extra $5,000 a month. You want to make an extra $10,000 a month, which an extra $10,000 a month. I just want to make $10,000 a month. Like, I don't need an extra 10,000. But they did say all of this stuff. I wasn't looking to do that aspect of it. However, it was something that was pushed. It was this idea of go find 10 people to do what you're doing, teach them what you're doing, and build a team. And right when you get licensed and you start doing the training with them, they immediately want you to go and find 10 other people to sit and have a meeting with you and see what you're doing. And they present it like at the training. Like, oh, like just bring your family and friends. We'll do a training. They can see what you're going to be doing and hopefully they'll buy, right? Hopefully they'll buy or they'll want to join you. I did have multiple friends come and sit through meetings with the head guy and myself. Nobody bought anything. Nobody started. I prefaced all of them with, you guys don't have to do this. Can you just help me out? Because I need to count like 10 of these things so that I can start going on my own. Right. And it was good because I got practice. But I mean, long story short, it took me about 4 months to be like, fuck this shit. I don't want to build a team of 10 people. And if you guys know anything about like my story, I got my insurance license. I was working with another company and I went on TikTok almost immediately to get the message out there. And I was viral within a month. And I come back to these people who I'm working with. I don't have anybody on my team. Okay. It's just me. And he tells me like, oh, like, good job. And I'm like, thanks. Like, can somebody help me with the leads that are coming in? Like, a lot of people are on my schedule. 300 people were on my schedule, in fact. And I'm not kidding. And I was completely overwhelmed. And this is what the guy says to me. He says, well, we're not going to help you. You need to go build a team. And I'm like, how am I supposed to learn everything I need to know, help 300 people in a month, and find 10 other people and teach them exactly what to do and hope that and make sure that they're doing it in an honest way?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. Like, figure it out. What? Like, why? Like, no help, no support, nothing. Just go recruit. The idea of recruiting and building a team when there were 20-some people at the company that had been in the industry longer than me and didn't want to help, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Any sense. I mean, what are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, I'm one of the few that has known the story for a while because I was like one of the 300 people that showed up in that group. Like, help me. And so, but like, if that's most people's experiences, not that everyone's getting suddenly 300 leads, because that was that's an unusual part of your story, right? That you decided to share on social media, but you had these people, you had all of these people who were like, yeah, help me with what we're doing. And you were still new. And so you were hoping that someone could help you at least set these things up properly so that you were taking care of the people that were coming to you. And instead he's like, yeah, no, just go build a team, go find someone to help you with these leads. But nothing about, okay, make sure you set it up right. This is what that's supposed to look like. Here's, what you should do. Here are things these people are going to need to know. Like, nothing.
It was not about making sure the policies are set up correctly or that people were taken care of. It was like, you have a great opportunity here to go make a bunch of money and build a team. Like, why are you not excited about this? So it's like, because how am I supposed to keep track of all of it and make sure that everything is done right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Which is why I go 4 months later, Power 3 Financial was started. And I was like, yeah, hi. It's going to take me a while to get to everybody. I did end up having 2 other people leave that company with me and help me start Power 3 Financial. So there were 3 of us that we trusted each other. We were out to do right by people. I mean, and thank God for these people because I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. And then McCall comes along, and now, there's Ryan and a couple other people that we really trust and who set up these policies correctly. But that whole experience was like, this is not what I signed up for. And I didn't even mention the best part, because we weren't even really selling life insurance. We were looking for people who could put an extra $250 away into a tax advantaged account. So when you talk to people and you listen to this guy's trainings, it was, if you have an extra $250, wouldn't you like that money to grow tax-free and then access it tax-free? And the word life insurance was never mentioned.
Right.
And I just thought, like, this is weird. Like, I wasn't even thinking scam. I was thinking, like, this is just weird. Like, why are we not being honest? Like, why are we not just saying life insurance? So again, that's how I ended up going, yeah, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm going to do this better. We're going to take care of people. If people have to wait, like, I know there are people that have been along for this whole journey of those 300 people. And they know, like, you had to wait a second because I couldn't do everything all by myself. And it's morphed into this amazing company now with really great agents and a lot of transparency and honesty and whatnot. But it started off kind of, I would say, a little bit better than most people. Like, my experience is way different than someone who gets into working with Primerica. But it was still that same idea of, like, build a team and don't really say the word life insurance because people don't want to hear that. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're selling life insurance.
Right. Like, you are buying a death benefit, and that product with the death benefit comes with all these amazing features.
Exactly. Like, why not just tell people the truth? I don't know how people sleep at night. And that's what I wanted to be able to do, is sleep at night. And I'm pretty sure I told that to McCall. It's like, so we're going to be able to sleep at night. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, like, the door is over there, or the exit to the Zoom room.
Right. Yeah, like, I tell people all the time when I'm going through illustrations with them, like, I'm doing this very intentionally the way I do it, because I don't want an angry phone call from you in 5 years. Like,
no,
I want you to, meet me in a little bit and be like, oh my gosh, you were right. You said that. And I'm like, I know. I was taking care of you from the beginning.
Exactly. I've been sleeping.
It's
like
been great.
Baby. I've been sleeping.
I did it the right way, and it's been great.
Exactly. The main guy at this company too, he started saying things which would really bother me. He started saying things like, you want to be on the beach while you're making money because other people are working. Like, your goal is to be on the beach and money is coming in and you haven't had a client call. I'm like, maybe, yes, because I have a functioning business that's honest. But just to go, like, just to make money, just because, to just screw people, I'm good, sir. And that's the thing too, is he was saying that to his 10 people. You know what I mean? Like, you're the main guy going, like, I work really hard right now and I'm training you guys so that you guys go make me a bunch of money and I'll be on the beach.
And then you can come join me once you build your people, who build your people, who build your people, who build your people. And, like, it just keeps going. And no.
Yeah. No, thank you. So that's a little bit of my background. And we know McCall found me. And it was like, hey, no funny business.
I know she was, she was like, I will help you. But that is it. And I was like, okay. And please don't recruit anybody. If someone really wants to join and they're a good person and, like, they're willing to put in the work, okay, fine. But even with that, they come in at the same level that everyone else does. Like, they're like, we'll train you, but it's very, like, you're not coming underneath me and making me money. That's not how this works. Like, you're going to come in at my level. I will help you. We'll get you. Once you're on your own, you're on your own.
Yeah. And you can split business with people. Like, hey, we worked this together. I'm training you. Let's split the business. Not, I'm going to help you because I'm making 90% and you're going to make 10 because I got you into this business. I gave you an opportunity. You didn't do shit.
Right.
You didn't do shit. You opened your mouth and which, it's a matter of time until the word cult starts coming up, because that's already what it, like, I mean, it is like it's
the weird life insurance MLM cult.
Yeah. Which we were just talking about, making money off of people and commission and contracting levels, right? So if we jump right into Primerica, as a Primerica agent, you start off with a 25% commission level. So any business you do, you're only making 25%. So what if it's $1,000 piece of business, you're making $250. Yes, and that's it. And the only way that you get an increase in your commission level is after you've recruited 3 agents to work underneath you.
And
And
then
it
what
goes
do you
up
go
to
up? What, 30?
50%.
Oh,
No,
50. Okay, I was like,
which is a decent jump. It's a decent jump. But I mean, McCall, would you start off at 60%?
yeah.
And now at year one, 80.
That's the thing. If I'm doing 25%, you're getting the extra what? 70?
75%, yes.
Yeah. So that's how that worked, guys. Like,
for doing nothing. If you go sell policies to your parents and and your friends, I'm taking 75% of it.
and I would have gotten 25% of that. And I did all the work.
Yes, like that is what you're doing in Primerica, and people love this company. Which I think is I think Dave Ramsey is a big reason for that. Which, if you didn't catch last week's episode, we give a shout out to Dave Ramsey and Primerica. So we're just piggybacking on that and really diving deep into this stuff. But something else that's fun about Primerica is that there is 2.5 million agents who work for Primerica, and guess what? It's a lot. Each one of them pays $25 a month to Primerica just to use their product. We do some quick math there. 62 million
a month.
Holy shit. I didn't even put that together.
It's $62 million
a month. No wonder that Primerica is the number one insurance company in the industry. It's not because they sell a good product. It's because they're making bank. They're making a shit ton of money off of people, because you're the product. You are the product.
It's not the product's supposed to be the life insurance policy. It's not even that. It's the people they're recruiting.
Mm-hmm. And each time that someone signs up, it costs $100 just to get signed up.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I know. It's wild. And people are all over TikTok, these Primerica agents, and they are obsessed with their work and what they're doing. Because if the company's making that much money, they also have to make more money by selling the product than they do by recruiting in order to not be classified as a MLM. And so they're making a fuck ton of money off of the product, which they only sell term policies, right? So they're only selling term policies. The term policy has no living benefits. If you need to know what living benefits are, go check TikTok, go check the previous episodes. The extra healthcare benefits, they don't come with them. They're strictly selling a death benefit. And I was quoted that a Primerica policy is around 15% more expensive than the policies that we work with that offer living benefits and are convertible into a permanent policy. And so these agents, I don't understand how much they're getting paid off of these policies, but they're making bank because they're easily starting off doing the work, selling insurance, and they go from nothing to I'm making $5,000 a month in a heartbeat. And they're paying for leads, of course.
Right. But the thing is, every person, so here, this is why MLMs work, right? Like, I'm going to emphasize my little quotation here, work. It's because you're starting at such a low commission point, right? You're only making 25%. So obviously you're going to want to make more. So you find 3 people immediately to try and boost you up to the 50%. Well, of course, they all want to do the exact same thing. So they're all doing, so then those are 3 people so now we have 9, right? Who are all boosting the person at the top. And then it just keeps going. So then we have 27. And then because everyone's trying to get to a higher commission level. It has nothing to do with the person at the top. They're just benefiting from your desire to make an extra $5,000 a month. And and again, you're not putting people in quality products. You're not taking care of the clients. You don't even actually understand what you're selling, because that's not the point. That's not the goal. The goal is go find people.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not hard to understand a term insurance policy. Yeah. You pay, $50 a month for 30 years for $1 million of death benefit coverage.
Right, but didn't you have some Primerica person come and comment that life insurance doesn't come with living benefits because they didn't even understand that was a possibility within the life insurance industry, that you could have a product that actually has more to it than just a death benefit that you could still use while you're alive. Like,
because they literally train them that it's not a thing. And they train them that everyone else in the industry is scamming you. So that brings in this cult aspect of like, no, everyone else is a liar. Everyone else is wrong. You are the only one with the truth, which sounds very much like
that's straight up a cult.
It's straight up
that's a cult. But that's the thing.
Because,
and so if you think you have this amazing product, and so I can't imagine like one, recognizing like having this product and being like, yeah, this is okay to just sell a death benefit. But two, once you're faced with the truth of like, no, there are actually products out there better than the one you're selling.
And they don't believe
believe that, and or potentially don't even care.
Or don't care.
Yeah. Like, what?
So they're taught that term is the only way. And they do Dave Ramsey's whole buy term and invest the difference. And something I learned recently before this episode, so that, we're always speaking facts, is that you get your life insurance license, which is really easy to do. I've said this before. It's not that hard to get your life insurance license. If you're working with Primerica, you have your life insurance license, and then they basically force you, they highly recommend you have to get a securities license, meaning that you're a financial advisor. So many air quotes this episode. You guys got to watch.
You're going to have to see it on the YouTube because we're just over here. Our fingers are just going, guys.
You have to get your securities license to be a financial advisor so that you are a fiduciary and you can have this cool title and people will respect you more, because no one respects life insurance agents, which is a very good business plan, honestly, because we deal with this all the time. Like, are you a fiduciary? Like, what other licenses do you have? Like, listen, you don't want me to have all of the licenses or to be working as a financial advisor just because I want to be a fiduciary. Like, I'm specializing in one thing and one product. And I mean, come find out for yourself. Go talk to Primerica agents and
if I got my fiduciary, if I became a fiduciary and could actually be a financial advisor, then I could actually tell you at that point to take all of your money out of all of your savings and assets and your 401ks and tell you should put all of it into a life insurance plan because I'm licensed to tell you that. Not having that license actually protects the people from me saying, hey, this is what you should do with all of your money and put it into this plan. Because that's not what we're going to do. I'm not legally allowed to say, hey, you should take all of your money that you're putting into a 401k and move it over here. That's bad advice, period.
I hadn't thought about it like that before. And so I will say, you guys, she's pretty and she's smart. like I didn't even put that connection together, that it's better that we don't have a securities license and are not a fiduciary, because we cannot tell you to liquidate your 401k and put it into life insurance. Whereas somebody who is licensed as a financial advisor could tell you to do that. Oh, it makes more sense to just liquidate your 401k, liquidate your IRA and put it into a life insurance policy. And not saying that that's a bad idea always. It can be a good idea.
But you have to come up with that idea. You as the person.
And it's very specific cases. Very specific. And there's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
As far as liquidating a retirement account that includes taxes and penalties. So many things. Wow. Now, your Primerica agents, they only sell term. They are literally trained that there is nothing else on the market. Nothing else will work. Term is the only way, and everything else is bad. McCall already mentioned that there was someone recently who commented on one of my TikTok posts who said, don't lie, there's no such thing as a living benefit on a life insurance policy. And I'm like, wait, girl, like, what do you mean? Like, and I don't know, is she a life insurance agent? Is she just like a random, person online? Like, where is she getting this information? Because it's so wrong. Like, I went and made a video of like, look at this policy with the living benefits. They're right here. And just to go to her page and find out she works at Primerica. She works at Primerica. And she's telling me, we're trained to expose companies like yours for lying and being scammers. And so I would like to cut to something that McCall brought to my attention earlier. She had an annual statement for a client where, we've talked about illustrations before, that illustrations are quotes, they're predictions, and you look at projections of your policy over time. And that first year, we'll tell people, hey, this is what could potentially be in your cash value at the end of year one.
Mm-hmm.
And McCall, what did you get to tell your client about their cash value at the end of year one just recently? Real time, real numbers.
Oh, yeah. So his projected policy values at the end of the first year, he was projected to have $1,900 of cash value. And we tell people we're going to get you a cash value at the end of the first year. Like that's part of our goal.
And how old is he and how much money was he?
He's like 34. He's doing $500 a month, but he was supposed to have $1,900 based off of what I showed him a year ago. What he actually had at the end of the first year was $2,400. That's a little bit more than what I showed him he was going to have.
And just to prove this, there should be something popping up on the screen to be like, hey, this is an actual annual.
This is what I showed him.
Real time.
This is what he had.
And it says cash value, surrender value. And that's different from the account value that McCall was talking about. There's an account value, which has more of your money in it, but they only give you a certain amount of your money liquid on year one. And that's what you can access. And so we're talking about that accessible cash value.
Mm-hmm.
And it has $2,400 in it already at the end of year one. And so that brings me to my point that a lot of Primerica agents, lately they've been popping up everywhere on my stuff on TikTok. Yep. And I sent McCall this hilarious video this morning of a woman. I know she couldn't stop looking at me and being like,
it was just a lot of...
Like, you're kidding. Yeah, you guys would have to see her face.
It was bad.
But she's absolutely from Primerica. Like, no doubt about it. I think she even said, like, Primerica is the best. Like, I love it, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at it. It's one of these, like, silly trends. And she's like, you can add to your cash value, but not until the 4th year. You can also borrow from your cash value, but you have to pay it back with interest. You have both a savings and a death benefit, but your family only gets the death benefit when you die, is what she's saying. Basically calling everything about a permanent cash value life insurance policy bullshit. So this is very common. I don't know what's up with this like 4th year that people are talking about, like that there's no money till the 4th year. We just showed you guys an annual statement, year one, $2,400.
Yeah.
Like, and we could keep going. Like, we could do that over and over and over again. Like, as like a sidebar, I had a client already pulled $12,000 out of his cash value within the 8th month of his policy. Yes, he's contributed a lot of money.
Here's the thing, and you'll hear us say this probably in every episode and every TikTok video of everything. It is not structured properly, whether whole life or IUL. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, you might not see a cash value for 4 years, but we're not going to do that to you. We're going to structure it properly. And a properly structured policy, you should have a cash value at the end of the first year.
Every time. Did I mention we're sleeping like babies?
Yep. No angry phone calls over here, guys. None.
New. So the other companies I mentioned, like Family First Life, they only sell term too. What's really sad about Family First Life is that their focus is more on elderly people. Like, they do a lot of like elderly people sales, or Primerica. I was reading some quotes. Primerica targets households that make less than $100,000 a year. They target families with a annual income of less than $100,000. And we're talking about 2 incomes, right? So $50,000 a year and $30,000 a year, $80,000. They target these families.
Right.
Lower income families. And Family First Life does a lot of elderly people. And they only sell term. And both companies are very like, if you get in to one of these companies, it's like we're all family and we're just helping families and that's all we do. And like, isn't it nice to like be doing such like God's work? And it's gross. It's gross. But a lot of the other ones, Transamerica, Premier Financial Alliance, World Financial Group, they sell everything. They sell everything. Now, the problem with these ones is that there's literally no training. I was warned, hey, Casey, if you ever see PFA, and this is a public service announcement for all listeners or anybody, if you ever have a illustration that has a PFA symbol at the top, it's on the right-hand corner, PFA, don't buy this policy. Just don't. Every single one is going to be bad. I was told if you ever see it, you don't even have to wonder if the policy is going to be set up correctly. It's not. It's not good. And what they do is there are minimums and maximums on your IUL, your max fund amount and your minimum amount. So to make it simple, if someone tells me, hey, Casey, I want to contribute $5,000 a year, then if I set up their policy correctly for them, they're max funding their policy at $5,000 a year, and they have a smaller minimum of, let's say, $1,000 a year. These companies, a client comes to them, says, I want to pay $5,000 a year. They make the 5,000 their minimum, meaning that their max is more like 15 grand. And then they come to us and they say, hey, why don't I have a cash value? Can you help me understand my policy? And I go and I look at the minimum and the maximum and I say, how much did you want to contribute? And they say, I wanted to contribute 5,000. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, that's your minimum on this policy. Sometimes it's as high as I have to tell them, you could be contributing $30,000 into this policy. And if you don't, your money is just all going to the cost of insurance. Yeah. And they're like, what? Like, how did this happen? Can you change it? No, it's a contract. And guess what? If your minimum is around that 5,000, the agent walked away with a huge commission around that same figure, And so these companies, they do that. That's how they're trained. Someone tells you want to pay $10,000 a year, make their minimum amount $10,000 a year. And then all of these agents who say there won't be a cash value till year 4 or year 7, they'll be right.
Yeah, because all your money went to them.
Yeah, because all of your money went to them. It's horrible. It's rough.
We know why people think life insurance is a scam. That's why we talk about this stuff. It's because we're trying to, kind of do the whole pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We're trying to move the curtain, right? We're trying to be like, this is the truth. It's not all bad. Like there are honest agents out there, but you can't but we're also up against mega companies and carriers that are training people to do it wrong or not training them at all. To make money. Right. Or not training them at all. I've actually had people, pop up on the schedule. They go through the whole system. They click the links, they pop up on the schedule and they're like, hey, I'm a licensed agent. Can you help me set up my own policy correctly? And I'm sitting there like, what? Why did you come find me to make sure that you're setting up why can't you go talk to the people on your own team? Why can't you talk to the people that you're working with?
Why
don't you know this? Right?
Yeah. And they're like, I don't know.
And I wish I could say it only happened once. It's happened like 3 or 4 times, literally in the last couple months of people, because they don't know, they don't teach people this. It goes back to
and they got into the industry because they wanted
the extra $5,000 a month, right? And now they're trying to get their own policy and they don't know what they're doing. So they're contacting the TikTok people being like, hey, can you help me set up my own policy correctly?
Because I don't want to screw myself, but I'll gladly screw other people. I sent a lot of these videos to McCall this morning, like, hey, look at all this stuff. What kills me about the content you find from the agents who sell Primerica, World Financial Group, Transamerica, FFL, all of these different MLM companies, products, is that their content goes like this. A cute video of a girl walking through an office and the caption, or like the text on the screen says, me leaving my office for the week and just made $6,100 for the week by helping families with life insurance. And it only took me 1 hour to make a sale. And you make $150 a year selling life insurance, working from home? Yeah, I can show you. Wow. Come work with us, helping families with life insurance, making $500 in 1 hour, work from home.
Yeah.
And that's how they're recruiting. There is no information on this person's page about life insurance, what it offers, what the benefits are, why you should get it, who it's good for.
Right.
Nothing. It's all...
Because again, at the end of the day, the person is the product, not the product.
Oh, and then we even got, even better. Creating my dream life. All expenses paid trips are my favorite. Thankful for my company. Oh, so now we're flaunting that the company that's making $62 million a month is also taking all of their agents on paid for trips. Yeah, because they need a tax deduction.
They need a write-off real bad.
And they're going to train you while you're there. Got it.
Yeah, train you to call out companies like ours.
What's killing me too is like multiple, like the one girl that we talked about. Can't remember. I don't even care about getting her handle right. It's like Janaea something. When I asked her, like, you work for Primerica, right? She's like, yes, and I love it here. And I was just like, it's not as cool as you think it is, my friend. Like, it's not cool. Somebody came on my page just last night. I was like, did you know? Did you know I was going to talk about this today? He starts coming on my page and saying that, ha ha ha, and I'm the tooth fairy. There's no cash value by year 4. Ugh. And I'm like, okay, who is this guy? And he's doing other comments. You're lying to people. You're scamming people. Like, tell the truth, whatever. His name is Xander Swart. I told him I would give him a shout out because he's cracking me up. I went to his page and it's all the same crap. Do you want to make an additional stream of income? Passive income. No one knows how to make it, but everyone wants it. I have a business opportunity for you. And term insurance is the best. Group life insurance. Oh man, I can't even. But his bio, financial advisor. Ooh. We create success. We focus on assets. Licensed in life insurance. He literally looks like he's 12 years old.
He does.
Okay, first of all, he literally looks like he's 12. And he now has messaged me. Okay, I haven't told anybody this yet. He messages me, DMs me on TikTok because I told him, hey, catch my podcast. You're going to get a shout out with like heart emojis, right? And he says, hey, let's hop on Zoom. You show me proof of your strategy working and I'll show you mine. And I said, dude, you're a waste of my time.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, catch this. I'll cash app you $1,000 if you can prove me wrong with real policies.
Okay. I've got, like, is that per policy? Because I've got a couple that I could actually pull up right now. And like, I literally, we're in annual review season. Like, we do annual reviews all the time.
It's always annual review season. Yeah.
I have 3 annual reviews this week alone. And guess what? I'm telling all of them at the end of the first year, look at your cash value. Like,
look how much money
do I get 1,000 per policy? Like, how many do you want?
Like, do you want a bouquet? How much money are you making off of people that you can just send strangers on the internet $1,000? Like, bet. Bet. And I'm going to hop on Zoom with you. Like, I kid you not, you guys, I mean, hopefully Mr. Ryan Stockbridge will post a nice old picture of Xander Swart. Because you guys, I swear to God, if anyone is trusting their money with this child, like, you got issues bigger than that, because he's 12.
He's 12.
But then I said, oh my God, this is great content.
Thank you.
That's what I messaged him. And then his last message to me was, ha ha ha, have fun ripping people off. Let me know if you ever want to learn something. Who created this audacity in these people?
Well,
Dave Ramsey?
It's that cult mindset, right? Of like, we are the only ones doing it right. This is the only product worth having. This is the only way to do it. And then you do have big names like Dave Ramsey who are like, yeah, buy term, invest the rest, which fuels this thinking of like, this is the way to go. But like, I have a term policy, right? Like it's okay to have term. Like, guys, it's okay to have term. But like, I have a term that's convertible. I can turn it into a permanent policy at any point.
It has living
benefits so that if I, am in a car accident and broke both arms, I won't have to liquidate a 401k or sell my home to pay for medical expenses. Like, I can get that from my term policy. It makes me
want to hit my head against the wall. Like, I'm just like, because I can't understand how you can get so brainwashed. But it's because money starts rolling.
What's the phrase you use about term that basically you're gambling with the life insurance carrier?
Yeah, I mean, you're basically saying, hey, I'm going to buy this 30-year term and I bet you I'm going to die. Yeah, like, I bet you in the next 30 years I'm going to die. And the life insurance company is like, I bet you're not.
Right, because and so if you have just a term policy, that's the game you're playing. I'm going to give you all of this money and I bet I'm going to die and everything's going to be fine and my family's going to be taken care of.
That's why we're here. We're trying to give out honest information.
Right. Just a standard term policy that has no features added to it, where you are just paying a monthly premium to get a potential death benefit in case you die, is not worth it. It's not worth it.
No. Let's wrap this up. How Like, what should people look for, right? If they are looking for life insurance, we've already said, if you want to get term insurance because you just got a house, you just had a baby, you just got married, and you can't afford to put a larger sum of money. And when I say larger sum of money into a permanent policy, I mean like 10 times your age, right? If you're $3,300.
Also, even if you like just bought a house and now you have a big mortgage and you want to make sure that if something happens to you, your family's covered for that too. Like term really does have its place.
It does have its place. And so if you want to get started there, you should get a policy that has living benefits. Because, okay, the likelihood of dying, yes, like everyone is going to die. That's a fact. But there's a huge likelihood that people get sick. People get cancer. People have heart attacks. People have strokes. I would say it's more logical to bet that you're going to get sick than that you're just going to die.
Right.
Like you would probably get sick first before you just die.
I tell people all the time when we're talking about the living benefit, my brother had frostbite a few years ago. That would have qualified as a critical illness rider, which means he would have gotten, money from a life insurance policy if he had it too. He had to be in the hospital for 6 weeks.
Yeah. And that's a loss of income, qualifying for benefits, and having a portion of your death benefit transferred to you tax-free. If you had a Primerica policy, they'd be like, are you dead though?
Right. Like you can't touch this, but thank you for still giving us your monthly premium.
Yeah. Like when you die, like let us know. Oh, well, I mean, have somebody else let us know.
Right.
So living benefits. Okay. We want living benefits on our term policies. We also, I would prefer for people to have a convertible term policy, meaning convertible into a permanent policy in case you're ever at a point where you're like, you know what? I'd really love to not lose my coverage and not have to prove that I'm insurable. That's a big deal because you get sick and now you can't ever get insurance again if that policy is not convertible. If it was convertible, don't have to worry about it. Transferred over, permanent death benefit coverage. Okay. So convertibility, living benefit. And I'm going to add something here. If an insurance carrier is traded on the stock market, we do not want to use this company. Guess what? Primerica is traded on the stock market.
Yeah, of course they are.
And so is Prudential, Allstate, AIG, MetLife, a ton of them. And why I say that is because when a carrier is traded on the stock market, their focus is impressing their shareholders, not their policyholders.
Yeah.
When a company is traded publicly, they want to increase their overall sales, the value of their business. They want their shareholders to be happy and invest more money. They could give two shits about what their policyholders think because their policyholders sure are making them some money, but really the agents are making them money by recruiting. They don't need that so much. They need their shareholders to be happy.
Yeah.
So you do not want to work with a company that is trying to impress their shareholders. You want them to be trying to impress you as the policy holder, meaning they're focusing on their products features and they're in good standing with their policy holders and their policy death benefit claims being paid out.
Yep.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
I don't think people think about it like that. Like you don't want to put your money and your life in the hands of somebody who's just trying to benefit off of the growth,
right?
The sales of those products.
Yeah, I tell people a lot, like if you know of the insurance carrier, like if you hear them regularly, you probably don't actually want to work with them.
No, you also don't want to work with a company that markets a lot of their product and their company. Because if they're spending all this money on marketing,
right,
they could have spent that money on advancing their product, offering better features to their clients.
It could have gone to you.
It could have gone to offering more benefits inside your policy.
Yeah.
Like, so marketing we don't want to see marketing. We don't want to see them publicly traded. And also, we don't want to buy permanent insurance. Term is different. We don't want to buy permanent cash value life insurance from a company that is selling anything but permanent cash value life insurance. And the only exception to that is like, hey, they sell IULs and a term policy.
Right.
Fine. If they're selling IULs, car insurance, home insurance, renter's insurance, health insurance,
pet insurance,
we're done. No. You want them to specialize in their product, in their one service, offer a term policy because, hey, yes, term is great. when it's convertible and it has living benefits. And most of the companies that offer IULs are not then offering a term policy with nothing.
Right.
Their term policy is going to have that convertibility factor and those living benefits. So if you find out, oh, you sell IULs and you can also offer me homeowners insurance, no, that's a red flag. They're not specializing in what they do, and their focus is not on making sure that their product is the best that it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Any other points that you think we missed there as far as what people should look out for when it comes to carriers to stay away from?
I mean, as far as carriers to stay away from, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. But the other thing too, like most often than not, you're not going to know what carrier the agent's working for until you're in a conversation with the agent, or, they're talking to you or showing you an illustration, if they even show you one at all. And so at that point, if, when it comes to the agent working for these companies, if they can't explain the policy to you, or if they're not willing to explain the illustration to you,
they're not willing to show.
If they're not willing to show you an illustration, please don't.
Just don't.
Just don't. You want to work with an agent that understands everything. Like, you want them to know what they are doing. I know that seems like a crazy concept, but we want you to understand what's happening with it. But also at the same time, we're like educational. We will go through an illustration with you. We will break it down to the finest detail and give you everything you want to know about it. We do that, one, because you should understand what's happening within the policy and what's happening with your money. But two, we want you to know that we know what we're talking about.
I'm trying to make sure that you know what you're purchasing.
Right.
Because again, I would like to sleep at night. And I've had people out, they want to get a policy, and I'm like, they want to get a policy like immediately, and I don't feel like they know what they're trying to buy. I don't want to sell it to them yet.
Right.
Again, literally, this is a real thing where I'm like, dude, this is a long-term commitment. Can we just slow down? You have any other questions, please ask me, because after this is done, it's done.
Well, and to go on to, back to the whole thing you were talking about, making a sale in 1 hour. You should have multiple conversations with your agent before you sign anything.
I'd say 4 hour max
per person.
Per person that gives you of their time. Like, if someone is not willing to give you a 4 hour period, like 4 hours over a course of time.
Right. I usually do like an hour a week, and as many times as you need that hour, I will give it to you.
Exactly. Well, this has been fun. This has been fun, McCall. McCall will be back. I hope you guys like her because I do, and she's going to come back on the show. We need to do some questions to ask your agent, things that they should know, some need to knows for IULs and whole life. So we'll have to get that on the books here in the future. But I hope you guys learned something from this podcast. I hope that it was insightful. I hope that you know what to look for when it comes to insurance carriers. And you have a new understanding of the industry and the dirty things that go on behind the scenes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'd rather you hear it from us than get a policy and find out later.
Right.
McCall, where can people find you if they're just now listening to the show?
Well, if you are just now listening, I am living.lively on TikTok and _living.lively_ on Instagram.
Amazing.
Thanks.
And you can reach out to both of us by emailing info@power3financial.com or checking out www.power3financial.com. Send us an inquiry, reach out, get started working with one of us. And like we said, you get started working with us, and it is not a quick process. So reach out. We'll do IUL 101. And you can reach out and just get more information from us too. We would love to hear from you. You guys know you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Casey the Dollar. You can also follow Power 3 Financial at Power 3 Financial on TikTok and Instagram as well. McCall, thanks so much for being here. You're the best.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, thanks so much for listening. You guys, this has been the You're an Asset podcast, where we find out who's an asset in the financial industry and who is just an ass. See you next week. Bye. The You're an Asset podcast is not giving financial advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and our licensing is strictly in insurance products. The information that we talk about is specific to the products that we work with. We cannot guarantee that other agents will have the same product features that we discuss on the show.